So one of the challenges a lot of companies have is building momentum behind their MDM program early on. And one of the best ways we've seen our customers do that is by tackling some quick, easy projects and getting some quick wins that are delivering business value early.
All right, while we're talking about quick wins, I think that one of the other things that it has to be addressed when you're dealing with quick wins is, in the data stewardship and governance side, we want to make sure that we limit the number of stakeholders, right? So that the number of people that are going to have some say in this domain can be limited in scope so that we can be able to make changes and affect change across the organization in a limited way that solves a problem that we won't have to redo in 3 months when somebody comes and says, wait, that's not how we want to do it, or why did you come talk to us, or something like that. Do you see that in organizations as well, Lee?
Yes, a lot of those first quick win projects are geared towards either a departmental solution,
yeah,
or possibly a couple of teams, stakeholders really from different functions that are really challenged by different perspectives on the same data. So the example we used earlier was location. If you've got a representation of your locations, using the menu example, you've got a representation as a retail store where you're providing services, and goods and food to your customers. You might also have one as a different representation as a distribution challenge. And those two organizations can come together using an MDM platform, agree on the policies and the practice. It's a relatively easy discussion. It's a very flexible discussion for our platform. And then they're really able to implement a simple set of stewardship policies and ultimately get some governance wins so that organization can then go back to the larger group and say, look, it's actually easy. If we take this kind of problem, this is what we did. Let's take that learning into a bigger arena.
Right, because the problem is rarely in these projects, it's not the complexity of the technology, it's the complexity of getting everybody in agreement, so it's more of an organizational challenge. So if you want a quick win, pick one where you've got a very limited set of stakeholders, fewer moving organizational pieces, and that'll give you a much better shot at getting that quick win out the door,
yeah,
everybody happy, and then you can build on that.
Yeah, and our projects, one of the factors we have to bear in mind for each project is the organizational flexibility and how fast they can move. Some organizations are comfortable with an agile approach, and they'd be able to quickly move through the phases of an implementation. Some organizations are much more traditional. They require much more sign-off. There's architectural review boards. That wouldn't be the scale of the project I'd recommend for a quick win. It would be something that you could move quicker on.
Yeah, and I would suggest to make sure that the stakeholders that you do bring into the project see the problem in the same way, right? Because if they do, then you can kind of you're rowing the boat in the same direction, right? But if you come in and like the distributors see the problem as the menus are too complicated, but the restaurants see the menus as too fancy, right? Those are different ways to solve that problem. It's going to be very difficult to meet of the minds. But if everybody's saying, oh, well, we just need it so it's simplified, or we just need a problem where we're making sure we know the nutritional information. Well, everybody agrees that is a problem, so you're kind of trying to solve the same problem for both stakeholders.
Yeah. Yeah. So in summary, I think for the quick ones, the keys are, look beyond the kind of bigger, more complicated, typical solutions or problems that people are trying to solve. So don't try to solve the perfect customer product 360. Go find something potentially more narrow in scope. Identify something that has a clear, measurable business challenge that you can prove value. And then find something that has a limited number of stakeholders where you can, it's a smaller group of people that you have to corral and get in alignment.